We are going to start now the lecture 2 of chapter 2 class 11th mathematics, inverse trigonometric functions. In this lecture we will talk about the properties of inverse trigonometric functions. The first result we have, it is sine inverse of sine of x. This will be equal to x if we have x belongs to the interval minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. We are talking about this is the principal value we are saying. If x belongs to this interval, then sine inverse of sine x is equal to x. So to prove this, we are saying let sine of x equal to y, where x is belonging to this interval minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. Then we have sine inverse of y is equal to x. This thing will imply us that sine inverse, we are saying we are talking about the principal values of x, and for these principal values we have sine inverse of y is equal to x. This implies a sine inverse of sine x, that is equal to x. So what we have done over here, in place of this y, we have substituted this value of y, that is sine of x. We have substituted this value over here, and the final answer we have obtained, it is x. In the second case, we are saying that cos of x is equal to y, and it is given that x belongs to the interval 0 to pi. Then if we are calculating the value of cos inverse of y, we substitute this value of y over here, we obtain it is cos inverse of cos of x, and that value is equal to x. We are saying we have considered that x is equal to cos inverse of y. The inverse function, it is defined if x belongs to the interval 0 to pi. So we are saying x is equal to cos inverse of y. So in place of y, we are substituting this value of cos x, and we are obtaining the answer as x. So similar kind of results we have for other cases, that for tan x, if the value of x, it is a principal value we are talking about. This value, this is the region of the region we are saying this is corresponding to the principal value. This is principal value, and this is the principal value for cot inverse function. So in all these cases we will have cot inverse of cot x, that will be equal to x. Cosecant inverse of cosecant x, that will be equal to x. But this thing will hold only when these values, we are talking about, these are lying in the principal domain, or we are saying principal value. These values, we are saying principal values. Next we have is the function given to us is y is equal to sine inverse of sine x, and it is being given that x belongs to R. In the previous case, x was belonging to the interval minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. Now we are talking about the case when x belongs to R and y belongs to minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. We are talking about the principal value. So we have to solve this. So if x belongs to R, we are plotting the graph over here. So first portion of the graph we are talking about when the value of x, it lies between minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. We are talking about the case when the value of x belongs to minus pi by 2 to pi by 2 closed interval. So this is just the previous case that we have already discussed over here. This case we are talking about, and the value of x, this function, we know that y is equal to x. The solution is y is equal to x, and y is equal to x line we have plotted over here. This is the line y is equal to x that we have plotted in this region, that is from minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. Next, suppose we are saying we have x belongs to R. So the next we are saying, suppose x belongs to the interval pi by 2 to 3 pi by 2. Now in this case, the answer we are obtaining over here, it is basically, we are saying y is equal to, suppose the suppose the value of x I am taking, that is equal to 2 pi by 3, then what our question will become, it is y is equal to sine inverse of sine of 2 pi by 3. We will obtain some answer for sine of 2 pi by 3. Suppose the answer for sine of 2 pi by 3, that is equal to some value, say z. So we will have over here sine inverse of z. Now sine inverse of z, that will be equal to, look at this equation over here, sine inverse of z, that will be equal to, we have this value 2 pi by 3 over here, but we require this answer to lie between minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. So the answer we get over here, that will be pi minus 2 pi by 3. So what we are saying, in this case the answer we are obtaining over here, it is pi minus 2 pi by 3, that is equal to pi by 3, and this belongs to the interval minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. We are not writing the answer as 2 pi by 3, we are writing the answer as pi by 3 because it should belong to this interval minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. So if we generalize this case, we obtain that the solution for, if x belongs to this interval, then the solution for y is equal to sine inverse of sine of x, that is basically pi minus x. So in this interval from pi by 2 to 3 pi by 2, we are obtaining this line over here. The answer is in this form, because the final answer we require, it should lie between minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. The final answer should lie between minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. Similarly, if we are moving towards the next interval, we will obtain the answer as x minus 2 pi. On this side, the answer we are obtaining, it is minus of pi plus x, that is minus of x minus pi. So this is the graph of the function y is equal to sine inverse of sine of x. Similarly, when we are talking about the function y is equal to cos inverse of cos x, and we are talking about x belongs to R, again we know that the first case we are having, when x belongs to the interval 0 to pi, then the solution for this is y is equal to cos inverse of cos x, that is equal to x. So we have plotted this portion over here from 0 to pi, we have this line y is equal to x. We have plotted this line y is equal to x. Next, when we are talking about the interval pi to 2 pi, when we are talking about the interval, it is from pi to 2 pi, the answer we are saying we will obtain, it is y is equal to cos inverse of cos x. This x belongs to this interval, but the answers we require, the values of y, that should be the values of y, they should belong to 0 to pi. This thing is given to us over here. So we are saying this will have the solution y is equal to 2 pi minus x. This thing you can see by considering some similar example over here, that the solution of this thing you will get, it is y is equal to 2 pi minus x. So this is the graph in the portion pi to 2 pi. So this is the overall graph. If you will plot the other points, other intervals you will consider, this is the overall graph for the function y is equal to cos inverse of cos of x when x belongs to R and y belongs to 0 to pi. This thing is clear from here, that y belongs to 0 to pi means we are saying that the values of y should lie between 0 and pi. The next we have is y is equal to tan inverse of tan x, and the value of x, they belongs to this interval, it is R minus odd multiples of pi by 2. That is, from R we have removed all these points, and the values of y, they are lying between minus pi by 2 to pi by 2 open interval. We have to see that is a periodic with period pi. So to plot this graph, again we are considering, first case we have is when the value of x, it belongs to the interval minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. The answer we have, it is y is equal to x. So we have this line over here. These points, these are excluded because the function is not defined at these points. Next interval we are considering, it is second interval we are talking about. Say it is from pi by 2 to 3 pi by 2. X belongs to this interval, open interval is there. So we are saying the value of y is equal to tan inverse of tan x. That will be equal to x minus pi. This value will be equal to x minus pi. Suppose, for example, we consider the value of x is equal to 3 pi by 4. Then what will happen over here? We are saying we have the function y is equal to tan inverse of tan of 3 pi by 4. It is equal to tan inverse of tan of, it is pi minus pi by 4 basically we are talking about. This is equal to tan inverse of, what is this value? It is minus tan of pi by 4, or we are writing it is tan inverse of tan of minus pi by 4. Now suppose this value is equal to theta. So we are saying that tan of minus pi by 4 should be equal to tan of theta, where this theta belongs to the interval minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. So the answer for theta that we obtain, it is equal to minus pi by 4. So what we can see from this is that if we have tan inverse of tan of 3 pi by 4, the answer we have, it is minus of pi by 4. That is, we are, if we look at these values over here, I am talking about this condition over here. What we have done, it is 3 pi by 4, it is pi minus pi by 4. So what we are saying is that minus of pi by 4, that is equal to 3 pi by 4 minus pi. So now look at this answer in general. If suppose in place of this 3 pi by 4 we have x over here, we have some value z over here. This answer we are obtaining over here, it is minus of z. On solving, what we are getting, in place of 3 pi by 4 we are writing it is x. The answer we are obtaining, it is z. That should be equal to x minus pi. So that is why we are saying that in general, when we are talking about, we are saying the answer we obtain for this region, it is this line we are talking about. It is for the region pi by 2 to 3 pi by 2, y is equal to tan inverse of tan of x, that is equal to x minus pi. Similarly, you can find the general answers for other cases also. This is just for explanation. I have given you an example that if we have a particular value, then the answer we obtain, it is in the form of x minus pi. Similarly, the next case we have, it is y is equal to secant inverse of secant x, and x belongs to this interval we are saying, or union of intervals we are talking about, and y belongs to this union of intervals. We have to prove that it is periodic with period 2 pi. So when we are talking about it is periodic, so from the graph it is clear that these functions, these are periodic, and the period, it is clear from this value that the interval we have over here, it is of length pi, the interval over here, it is of length pi. Similarly, when we are talking about y is equal to secant inverse of secant x, we know that when x belongs to the interval 0 to 2 pi, we are talking about closed interval 0 to 2 pi, except for the point pi by 2 and 3 pi by 2, or we are talking about x belongs to the interval 0 to pi except for the point pi by 2. That is, we are talking about this portion, and we are not considering the value at x is equal to pi by 2 because secant of x is not defined over here at this point, and we know that the solution of the equation y is equal to secant inverse of secant x, that is equal to x if x belongs to this interval. So we are obtaining this line over here, and this point is excluded. Similarly, when we move to our next interval, say we are talking about the interval pi to 2 pi, closed interval, except for the point 3 pi by 2. Now in this region, the value of y, that is equal to secant inverse of secant x, the answer we will obtain, that will be equal to 2 pi minus x. This is the line we are talking about. This point is excluded. This is the line, and the length we have over here, it is pi to 2 pi. This length is pi. This length over here, it is pi. So we are saying the period of this function, it is 2 pi. Look at this graph over here. This portion of the graph, when we are talking about, its length is 2 pi, and this portion of the graph, it is repeated again and again over the intervals of length 2 pi. So we are saying that this graph is periodic with the period 2 pi. Next we are talking about cot inverse of cot of x, and x belongs to R and y belongs to the open interval 0 to pi. This is a periodic function with period pi. So this thing you can see from this graph, that is the length of these intervals we have over here. The length of all these intervals, this is pi. If we are talking about the interval 0 to pi, when x belongs to open interval 0 to pi, we have cot inverse of cot x is equal to x. So we are obtaining this line over here for open interval 0 to pi. Next we are considering x belongs to pi to 2 pi. In this region we are saying y is equal to cot inverse of cot x, and in this case the answer we obtain, it is x minus pi. So we have, this is the graph for y is equal to x minus pi. So from this graph it is clear that this y is equal to cot inverse of cot x is periodic with period pi. Next case we have is y is equal to cosecant inverse of cosecant x. X belongs to R and we are talking about y belongs to this interval. Again, when y belongs to the interval, the first one we are talking about, it is from minus pi by 2 to pi by 2 except for the point 0. Then we know that the value of this function y is equal to cosecant inverse of cosecant x, that is equal to x. We have drawn this line over here. This point 0 is excluded. We have this line over here. Next, suppose we are saying that x belongs to the interval, it is pi by 2 to 3 pi by 2 except for the point pi where cosecant is not defined. So in this interval, if we try to solve this equation, we are having y is equal to cosecant inverse of cosecant x. It means we are talking about cosecant y is equal to cosecant of x. The solution we require is that y should belong to the interval this. So this equation gives us that sine of y, that is equal to sine of x. Next, and the solution in this case we have, it is y is equal to n pi plus minus 1 raised to the power n times x. So if we substitute different values of n over here, for n is equal to 0, we will have y is equal to x. For n is equal to 1, we will have y is equal to pi. If we solve this, if we substitute n is equal to 1, we will get it is pi minus x. If we substitute n is equal to minus 1, we will get this is minus pi minus x. So these are the different solutions basically we are talking about. It is y is equal to x. Then we are saying y is equal to pi minus x. Next we are saying y is equal to minus pi minus x. So these are the lines. We are saying this is the line corresponding to minus pi minus x. This is the line corresponding to pi minus x. So if we go on substituting the values of n, we will obtain this graph in this form, and clearly this graph is periodic with period 2 pi. So this is the most general way to solve these kind of problems. All these previous problems you can also solve in this form. So we are again explaining all these graphs with these formulas. So first formula we have, it is sine inverse of sine theta. So we are saying that value of theta, it belongs to r. So how we are going to solve it is, we are saying sine inverse of sine theta, say this is equal to some y. So what we get is that sine theta is equal to sine of y, or we are writing sine of y is equal to sine of theta. So this gives us y is equal to n pi plus minus 1 raised to the power n times theta. So if we substitute different values of n, when we substitute n is equal to 0, we will get y is equal to theta. When we substitute n is equal to 1, we will get y is equal to pi minus theta. When we substitute n is equal to 2, we will get y is equal to 2 pi plus theta. When we substitute n is equal to 3, we get y is equal to 3 pi minus theta. Now if we substitute n is equal to minus 1, we obtain it is minus pi minus theta. N is equal to minus 2, we obtain minus 2 pi plus theta. N is equal to minus 3, it is minus 3 pi minus theta. Now this value of n that we are talking about, it depends upon the value of theta. We are saying in case of sine, we are talking about the first two, this quadrant, this first quadrant and the fourth quadrant. If the value lies in this region, if the value lies in this region, in the first quadrant or the fourth quadrant, we know that the value of sine theta, these are the principal values for sine inverse of principal region or principal values, they lie in these regions. It is in the first or the fourth quadrant. So if we solve this equation in the first or the fourth quadrant, we are talking about the equation y is equal to sine inverse of sine theta, and we are saying theta belongs to the interval, say minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. The solution we have, it is y is equal to theta. We are talking about this portion over here, that if the value, why we are saying so, because this value of y should belong to this interval. So we are saying in this case we are considering n is equal to 0. Now suppose we are saying theta is equal to the interval we are talking about, say it is pi by 2 to 3 pi by 2. So if we look at both these values over here, what we can see is, if we add, I am writing it over here, I am talking about, actually we have theta belongs to minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. We require the answers in this interval. Now we are saying, suppose we have the problem in which we have theta belongs to, it is pi by 2 to 3 pi by 2. So how this interval is formed from this? what we are saying, it is theta is belongs to pi minus pi by 2 comma pi plus pi by 2. So this is the interval we are talking about. The value of n we have, what we are saying, the general interval we are saying is theta belongs to the interval n pi minus pi by 2 to n pi plus pi by 2. So these are the values of n basically we are considering over here. So when we are considering the value of n is equal to 1, the interval formed it is pi minus pi by 2, that is pi by 2 to 3 pi by 2. This is the interval we are talking about. The answer in this case will be pi minus theta. If suppose I substitute the value of n is equal to minus 1, the interval will become, it is minus pi by 2 to minus pi plus pi by 2. The interval will become minus 3 pi by 2 to pi by 2, minus pi by 2. I am saying it is minus 3 pi by 2 to, this first case we are talking about, minus 3 pi by 2 to pi by 2, and the answer we have, it is minus pi minus theta. So this is the most general way to solve these kind of problems, and these are the general solutions that we have for the case when theta belongs to r. Similarly, we can see the result for cos inverse of cos theta and tan inverse of tan theta. Now the next we have is, we have to solve sine of sine inverse of x. We have to prove that this is equal to x if x belongs to the interval minus 1 to 1. In the previous case, we were talking about sine inverse of sine x. In this case, we are talking about, over here we are talking about sine of sine inverse of x. So these are two different problems we are solving. You must note this thing, that we are talking about two different problems. First is, in the previous case we were talking about sine inverse of sine x. Now we are talking about sine of sine inverse of x. These are two different functions. Why? In this case, when we are saying the value of x can belong to r, and the final solution that we will have, it will belong to the interval, if we are talking about principal values, it is minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. Now if we are talking about this function, it is sine inverse of x. We know that the value of x, it can lie between minus 1 to 1, because it is sine inverse over here. So the value of x, the domain of this function, it is from minus 1 to 1. The answer we obtained is sine, so that will also belong to the interval minus 1 to 1 in this case. So these are two different functions we are talking about. So first case we have, it is sine of sine inverse of x. We have to prove that this is equal to x. So we let sine inverse of x is equal to theta, where x belongs to the interval minus 1 to 1. This thing is given to us. Then what we have is that sine of theta is equal to x, and this thing implies us that sine of sine inverse of x, in place of this theta we are using this value over here, that is sine inverse of x. We have substituted this value over here, and that is equal to x. This is for all x belongs to minus 1 to 1. So we are saying that sine of sine inverse of x is equal to x when x belongs to minus 1 to 1. In the previous case, we were having sine inverse of sine x, that is equal to x when x belongs to minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. So this is the function y is equal to x, but the domain of this function is minus 1 to 1. This is the function y is equal to x, but the domain of this function, it is x belongs to minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. Similarly, the next case we have, it is cos of cos inverse of x. We have to find the value of this. So we are saying let cos inverse of x is equal to theta, where x belongs to the interval -1 to 1. So we will have cos of theta is equal to x. Now if we substitute the value of this theta over here, this thing implies us that cos inverse of x, that is equal to x for all x belongs to the interval -1 to 1. So this is the function we are talking over here, that cos inverse of x, that is equal to x for all x belongs to the interval -1 to 1. This is the second result. Similarly, we can prove these other results, that in all these cases when the value of x belongs to r minus -1 to 1, this is x belongs to r, this is x belongs to r minus interval -1 to 1, in all these cases these functions are equal to x. Next we are talking about these functions. So it is important to note over here that all these functions, these are now not periodic. In the previous case, when we are talking about sine inverse of sine x, y is equal to this, we are saying this function is periodic. We have seen that this function is periodic with period 2 pi. But now we are talking about the function y is equal to sine inverse of x. We have seen that the value of this function, it is equal to x for all x belongs to the interval -1 to 1. So if we plot the graph of this function, we are saying the values are lying between -1 to 1. Suppose this value is -1 and this value is 1. This is the graph of the function. This is the graph of the function y is equal to x when x belongs to the interval -1 to 1. So clearly this function is a periodic. Similarly, when we are talking about this function, these values, they lie between -1 and 1. When we are talking about the function y is equal to tan of tan inverse of x, we are saying it is y is equal to x for all x comma y belong to R. So if we plot this, this is a straight line we are talking about over here. This line we are saying. So again this function is a periodic. This is not periodic. But when we were talking about y is equal to tan inverse of tan x, we have seen that this function is periodic. Similarly, when we are talking about y is equal to cosecant of cosecant inverse of x or secant of secant inverse of x, it is equal to x. And the values they are lying for, this function is defined for mod x is greater than equal to 1, mod y is greater than equal to 1. So the equations we will have, this is, we are talking about y is equal to x. We are talking about all the values for x belongs to, if we write this value, it is -1 is less than equal to x is less than equal to 1, -y is less than -1 is less than equal to y is less than equal to 1. So function is not defined for the interval. The value of x, they belong to R except for the interval, open interval we are talking about -1 to 1. So this is the graph of the function, that for x is greater than 1 it is defined, for x is lesser than -1 it is defined. So from this graph it is clear that this function is not periodic. Now the next result we have is, we have to prove that sine inverse of 1 by x, that is equal to cosecant inverse of x when x is greater than equal to 1 or x is less than equal to -1. So we are talking about the case, if we compare it with our trigonometric functions, we are saying we have over there that sine x is equal to 1 over cosecant x. But when we are talking about inverse trigonometric functions, we have relation in this form, that sine inverse of 1 by x is equal to cosecant inverse of x. So to prove this result, we consider that sine inverse of 1 by x, that is equal to theta. So this thing implies us that 1 by x is equal to sine theta. This implies us x is equal to cosecant theta. So comparing both these values, this thing implies us that cosecant inverse of x is equal to theta. So comparing this last and first value, we obtain that sine inverse of 1 by x, that is equal to cosecant inverse of x. This is our first result. Similarly, when we are talking about cos inverse of 1 by x, if we consider it equal to theta, this thing implies us that 1 by x is equal to cos theta. This thing implies us x is equal to secant theta. The values of x, they are lying in these intervals. So we are saying if x belongs to this, that x is greater than equal to 1, x is less than equal to minus 1, then this thing implies us that 1 by x will belong to the interval minus 1 to 1. Look at this value over here, 1 by x we are talking about, it belongs to the interval minus 1 to 1. It is domain of the function cos inverse x. And when we are talking about this x, we are having this x over here. So this thing implies us that secant inverse of x, this is the domain of the function secant inverse, that is equal to theta. So again, by comparing these two values, we get it is cos inverse of 1 by x is equal to secant inverse of x. Then the next case we have, when x is greater than 0, we have to prove that tan inverse of 1 by x is equal to cot inverse of x. This is, we are talking about the case when x is greater than 0. So suppose we are saying that cot inverse of x is equal to theta and x is given to be greater than 0. We are saying x is given to be greater than 0. So this thing gives us that theta belongs to the interval 0 to pi by 2. We require the value of x to be greater than 0. So this thing implies us that x is equal to cot of theta. For x to be positive, this theta should belong to the interval 0 to pi by 2. So this thing implies us that 1 by x is equal to tan theta. Theta belongs to the interval 0 to pi by 2. So 1 by x is defined and tan theta is also defined. So this thing implies us that tan inverse of 1 by x is equal to theta. Now comparing these values, theta is equal to cot inverse of x, theta is equal to tan inverse of x. We are saying for theta belong to the interval 0 to pi by 2, we have cot inverse of x is equal to tan inverse of 1 by x, and this is what we have to prove. Now the next question we have is, this first part we have already seen that tan inverse of 1 by x, we have proved that this is equal to cot inverse of x for x is greater than 0. Now the second part we have is, if x is less than 0, then the answer is minus pi plus cot inverse of x. So we are saying, to prove this, we are saying let cot inverse of x is equal to theta. Then what we have is that the value of x, they belongs to r. X is not equal to 0. So we can write that the value of x we have, it is r minus 0. It belongs to the r minus 0, all real numbers except 0. And the value of theta we have, that belongs to 0 comma pi. Because if we are looking at this function over here, we will have it is x is equal to cot of theta, and this theta should belongs to 0 to pi. It is neither it is defined on 0 nor it is defined on pi. So we are talking about two cases now. If we have theta belong to the interval 0 to pi by 2, then we will have x is greater than 0. And when theta belongs to the interval pi by 2 to pi, then we have x is less than 0. We are not having the case x is equal to 0 over here, so we are talking about two cases, when x is greater than 0 and second is when x is less than 0. This case when x is greater than 0, that we have already discussed in our previous slide, and we have obtained the answer that tan inverse of 1 by x, that is equal to cot inverse of x for all x greater than 0. Now we come to our second case when we are saying that x is less than 0. So we are saying when x is less than 0, so this thing means that theta belongs to the interval pi by 2 to pi. It means pi by 2 is less than theta is less than pi. So this thing implies us that pi by 2 minus pi is less than theta minus pi is less than 0. So we get that theta minus pi, it belongs to the interval minus pi by 2 to 0. So what we are saying over here is when value of x is negative, it means we are talking about the value of theta minus pi, it should lie in the fourth quadrant, that is minus pi by 2 to 0. Now look at this value, we are saying cot inverse of x is equal to theta. Now this implies us that x is equal to cot of theta, and this implies us that 1 by x is equal to tan of theta. We are saying the value of x, it is negative, so this will give us 1 by x is equal to tan of theta minus pi. We will have negative sign over here, and this implies us that 1 by x is equal to tan of pi minus theta. So from this result we obtain that tan inverse of 1 by x when x is negative, that is equal to pi minus theta. We have started solving this problem by considering, see over here, we have considered that cot inverse of x is equal to theta. We are having cot inverse of x is equal to theta. So when we substitute this value of theta over here, the answer we obtain is that tan inverse of 1 by x, that is equal to pi minus cot inverse of x, and this thing is when x is less than 0. So by combining both these results, we obtain this answer as tan inverse of 1 by x, that is equal to cot inverse of x for x is greater than 0, and it is minus pi plus cot inverse of x for x is less than 0. So you can understand this thing in the way that when we are talking about the function cot inverse of x and we are talking about the function tan inverse of x, the principal values, they lie in the intervals. For cot inverse it is interval 0 to pi, and for tan inverse it is minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. We are saying when the values are positive, then it means that the angle it is lying, the answers they are lying between 0 to pi by 2, and it is common for both these. So we are obtaining the answer in the form that tan inverse of 1 by x is equal to cot inverse of x. But when we are talking about the negative values of x, then corresponding to this, the value of theta that will lie between pi by 2 to pi, that is in the second quadrant. Whereas when we are talking about tan, the answer should lie between minus pi by 2 to 0. So to convert these values, the final answer we are obtaining, it is in the form minus of pi plus cot inverse of x. This is basically we are saying the value of cot inverse of x, this will lie in the second quadrant when x is less than 0. We are writing it is minus pi plus this, so it will convert the answers in the fourth quadrant. It will shift the answers in the fourth quadrant, and hence we have obtained this formula. Next results we have is, first is sine inverse of minus x, that is equal to minus sine inverse of x, x belongs to minus 1 to 1. Tan inverse of minus x is equal to minus tan inverse of x, x belongs to R, and cosecant inverse of minus x is equal to minus cosecant inverse of x when mod of x is greater than equal to 1. So we can see over here that when we are talking about sine inverse of minus x, suppose this value we consider it is equal to theta. So this implies us that minus x is equal to sine theta. This thing implies us x is equal to sine of minus theta. So what we get from this is that minus theta is equal to sine inverse of x. This implies us theta is equal to minus sine inverse of x. So by comparing both these values, we obtain that sine inverse of minus x is equal to minus of sine inverse of x. It is minus sine over here. So this is the formula we are obtaining, that for all x belongs to this interval, for sine inverse, for tan inverse, and for cosecant inverse, we have formulas in this form. Next is, if the functions are cos inverse of x, if the function we have it is cos inverse of x, so we are writing, let cos inverse of minus x, say it is equal to theta, then this thing implies us that minus x is equal to cos theta. This thing implies us x is equal to minus of cos theta. Now when we are talking about the sine function, we have obtained x is equal to minus of sine theta, and we are writing it is equal to sine of minus theta, and it has solved our problem. But now in this case we cannot shift this minus sign inside, but what we will have, it is equal to cos of pi minus theta. So what we get from this is, this implies us that cos theta, that is this x we are talking about, it is not cos theta, it is x we are talking about, is equal to cos of pi minus theta. So this implies us that cos inverse of x is equal to pi minus theta. Now in place of theta, we are substituting this value over here, it is cos inverse of x. So this thing implies us that cos inverse of x is equal to pi minus cos inverse of minus x, or we can write this in the form that cos inverse of minus x is equal to pi minus cos inverse of x. Similarly, for other cases, when we are talking about secant inverse of minus x and cot inverse of minus x, we obtain the results in this form. Now look at the case when we are talking about cot inverse of minus x. I am talking about the case, this one I am talking about. I am saying let cot inverse of minus x is equal to theta. Suppose I am considering x is greater than 0, then minus x will be less than 0. If minus x is less than 0, it means the value of theta will belong to the interval pi by 2 to pi. Now, if suppose I am writing it in the form cot inverse of minus x is equal to theta, this implies cot of theta is equal to minus x. This implies x is equal to minus cot of theta. Now look at this value over here. When I am writing x is equal to minus cot theta, we can consider two cases over here. First is we can write x is equal to cot of minus theta. Theta belongs to the interval minus pi by 2 to pi. So minus theta will belong to the interval minus pi to minus pi to minus pi by 2. But we know that the principal value corresponding to the cot inverse function, they should belong to the interval 0 to pi. So we are not considering the solution in this form, but we are writing it is x is equal to cot of pi minus theta, where if we consider the function in this form, the final values will remain in the interval 0 to pi, and that is why we are obtaining the answer in the form it is pi minus cot inverse of x. We are not writing it in the form that cot inverse of minus x is equal to minus sign comes out and it is cot inverse of x, because in these cases this angle we are talking about, this will lie in the third quadrant. But we know that from the principal values of cot inverse, we know that the values should lie between 0 and pi. That is why we are writing the answer in this form, that it is pi minus cot inverse of x. Next is prove that sine inverse of x plus cos inverse of x, that is equal to pi by 2, and x belongs to the interval minus 1 to 1. So if we consider sine inverse x equal to theta, then we have x is equal to sine theta, x belongs to this interval. So this is equal to cos of pi by 2 minus theta. So this implies us that cos inverse of x, that is equal to pi by 2 minus theta. Now the value of theta that we have, it is sine inverse of x. So this implies us that cos inverse of x is equal to pi by 2 plus minus sine inverse of x. It is not plus over here, minus sine inverse of x. So this implies us that sine inverse x plus cos inverse x, that is equal to pi by 2, and this is our first result over here. Next is tan inverse of x plus cot inverse of x is pi by 2 when x belongs to R. So similar proof we have. We are considering tan inverse of x is equal to theta. So we are saying then theta, it belongs to the interval minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. So this implies us that minus pi by 2 is less than theta is less than pi by 2. Why we are doing so? Because the answers we required that are in the form of cot inverse of x, and the principal values of cot inverse of x, they lie in the interval 0 to 2 pi. So we are saying this implies us that pi by 2 minus theta, it belongs to the interval 0 to pi. So what we are saying over here is that minus pi by 2 is less than minus theta is less than pi by 2. So pi by 2 minus pi by 2 is less than pi by 2 minus theta is less than pi by 2 plus pi by 2. So this thing implies a 0 is less than pi by 2 minus theta is less than pi. So we are saying that pi by 2 minus theta, it will belong to the interval 0 to pi. So from this result we obtain that x is equal to tan theta, that is equal to cot of pi by 2 minus theta, where pi by 2 minus theta, it belongs to the interval 0 to pi. So this implies us that cot inverse of x, that is equal to pi by 2 minus theta, and in place of theta we are substituting the value, it is tan inverse of x, and we obtain the final answer in the form that tan inverse of x plus cot inverse of x is equal to pi by 2. Now the last we have to prove that secant inverse of x plus cosecant inverse of x, that is equal to pi by 2, and it is being given that the value of x mod of x, it is greater than equal to 1. So to prove this result, we are considering that theta belongs to the interval 0 to pi minus pi by 2 when x belongs to the interval minus infinity to 1 union 1 to infinity. So what we get is from this result we are saying that 0 is less than theta is less than equal to pi and theta is not equal to pi by 2. So this thing implies us that minus pi is less than equal to minus theta is less than equal to 0 and theta is not equal to pi by 2. Now if we add pi by 2 to this equation, we get it is minus pi plus pi by 2 is less than equal to pi by 2 minus theta is less than equal to pi by 2 and pi by 2 minus theta is not equal to 0. So this implies us that pi by 2 minus theta, this belongs to the interval minus pi by 2 to pi by 2 minus pi by 2 minus theta is not equal to 0. So it means minus the point 0. So this value we are saying this is equal to minus pi by 2 and this value we are saying it is pi by 2. So we are saying the value of pi by 2 minus theta, it belongs to this interval. So what we get from this is that secant inverse of x is equal to theta. If we consider this, so we get it is secant theta is equal to x and this implies us x is equal to cosecant of pi by 2 minus theta and this implies us that cosecant inverse of x is equal to pi by 2 minus theta, where pi by 2 minus theta it belongs to this interval, that is the principal values of the cosecant inverse function. Now substituting the value of theta over here, we obtain that cosecant inverse x is equal to pi by 2 minus secant inverse x. So this implies us that secant inverse x plus cosecant inverse x, that is equal to pi by 2, and this is what we have to prove. Now the next result we have to prove is that tan inverse of x plus tan inverse of y, that is equal to tan inverse of x plus y over 1 minus xy. So if this condition we have given over here, if x into y is less than 1, so suppose we are saying we are proving this result, we are considering that x is greater than 0 and y is greater than 0. We are talking about this case first, and we are considering that tan inverse x is equal to theta and tan inverse y is equal to 5. Then what we get from this is that the value of theta we will have that will lie in the interval 0 to pi by 2 and the value of y that will lie in the interval 0 to pi by 2. Now we are talking about the value. Look at these two results over here. From this result we get that x is equal to tan of theta. From this we get that y is equal to tan of phi. Now if we are talking about tan of theta plus phi, so we know that the formula for tan of theta plus phi, that is equal to tan of theta plus tan of phi divided by 1 minus tan theta tan phi. Now what are the values of this tan theta and tan phi? Look at these values over here. So it is x plus y over 1 minus xy. So we are having the result that tan of theta plus phi, that is equal to x plus y over 1 minus xy. Now this angle theta plus phi, when we are talking about, we have conditions over here. So this theta plus phi, that will lie in the interval 0 to pi, that is this whole value, this can lie in first quadrant or the second quadrant. So we are dividing it in two parts, 0 to pi by 2 union pi by 2 to pi, and it depends upon the value of this denominator. We are saying this x is positive, this y is always positive. Now if this value 1 minus xy is greater than 0, So what we get is that x y is less than 1. This whole term we have, this will be greater than 0. It means in this case the value of theta plus phi that will belong to the interval 0 to pi by 2. Writing this thing that x into y is less than 1, this is equivalent to writing that theta plus phi, this belongs to the interval 0 to pi by 2. And in this case the answer we obtain, that is tan of theta plus phi. This tan, we are taking the inverse function over here, it is equal to tan inverse of x plus y over 1 minus xy, because now theta plus phi, it belongs to this interval. Now this theta is equal to, when we are talking about this value theta, we have considered theta is equal to tan inverse of x, and this phi is equal to tan inverse of y. So we obtain this result that tan inverse of x plus tan inverse of y, that is equal to tan inverse of x plus y over 1 minus xy when x into y is less than 1. Next, to prove the next result, in this formula we are replacing y is equal to minus of y. We are replacing, we are not writing equal to, we are saying we are replacing y with minus y. So our condition will change to this condition we are talking about. Earlier the condition was x into y was less than 1. Now in place of y we are writing it is minus y, so we get x into y is greater than minus 1. So on replacing this in the formula, we obtain that tan inverse of x plus tan inverse of minus y, that is equal to tan inverse of x minus y over 1 plus x into y. So on applying the formula for tan of minus y as minus tan inverse of y, we obtain the final answer in the form that tan inverse of x minus tan inverse of y, that is equal to tan inverse of x minus y over 1 plus x into y. And the last case we have, it is we are substituting y is equal to x. So the condition becomes x square is less than 1. It means mod of x is less than 1, and the formula will become tan inverse of x plus tan inverse of x, that is equal to tan inverse of x plus x over 1 minus x square, that is equal to tan inverse of 2x over 1 minus x square. So the formula we obtain, it is 2 tan inverse x, that is equal to tan inverse of 2x over 1 minus x square, and the condition we get is mod of x is less than 1. So this condition, this is just coming from the case we are saying when x is greater than 0 and y is greater than 0 we are considering. Similarly, we can prove this for the case when we are considering that x is less than 0 and y is less than 0. Similarly, we can give the proof of that particular case. Now the next result we have to prove is that 2 tan inverse of x, that is equal to sine inverse of 2x over 1 minus 1 plus x square. So we are saying let tan inverse of x is equal to theta. So this thing implies us that x is equal to tan of theta. It is being given that minus 1 is less than x is less than 1. This condition it is given to us. So if we look at this first condition we are talking about, it is sine inverse of 2x over 1 plus x square. If we substitute this value of x over here, we get it is sine inverse of 2 tan theta over 1 plus tan square theta. This is equal to sine inverse of sine of 2 theta. Now look at this formula over here. We were having sine inverse of sine of x, that is equal to x if x belongs to the interval minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. This formula we have already proved. Now over here what we have is that the value of x, it lies between -1 and 1. So this thing gives us that this, in place of x we can write it as tan theta. So we get that minus pi by 4 is less than theta is less than pi by 4. So this implies us that minus pi by 2 is less than theta is less than pi by 2. The value lies in this interval. This is the value for 2 theta. So what we get is that the value of 2 theta, it lies in this interval. That means this formula is applicable, and the answer we obtain, that is equal to 2 times theta, and that comes out to be 2 times tan inverse of x. Theta is tan inverse of x. So the answer we obtain, it is 2 times tan inverse of x, and this is what we have to prove, that 2 times tan inverse of x is equal to sine inverse of 2x over 1 plus x square. Next, we start by solving cos inverse of 1 minus x square over 1 plus x square. In place of x square we have substituted the value, it is tan theta. On solving this we will obtain that it is cos inverse of cos of 2 theta, and we know that cos inverse of cos of 2 theta, that will be equal to 2 theta when the value of theta, it belongs to the interval 0 to pi. That is, the value of 2 theta, it should lie in this interval. It means 0 is less than theta is less than pi by 2. So this gives us, this condition implies us that the value of x that we will have, that belongs to 0 comma infinity. So this is the condition that we have over here, that is x is greater than equal to 0. Why equality sign is there? We are saying the condition for this thing we have, it is equal to, so we get this value, but theta cannot be equal to pi by 2 because we are talking about the tan function, so equality is not over there. So we are saying 0 is less than equal to x is less than pi by 2, and we get x belongs to 0 to infinity. It is closed at 0, so the interval we obtain is that x is greater than equal to 0. Now the last part we have, it is tan inverse of 2x over 1 minus x square. We substitute in place of x, it is tan theta. So the formula we obtain, it is tan inverse of tan 2 theta, and we know that tan inverse of tan 2 theta, that will be equal to 2 theta if 2 theta belongs to the interval, open interval, minus pi by 2 to pi by 2, and this implies us that the value of x that we will have, that is theta belongs to -1 to 1. This implies us x belongs to the interval, theta belongs to minus pi by 4 to pi by 4, and x belongs to the interval -1 to 1. So this is the condition we have, it is mod of x is less than 1. Then we will have this tan inverse of 2 theta is equal to 2 theta, and theta we have assumed it is tan inverse of x. So we obtain this formula in this interval. Next is prove that 2 sine inverse x is equal to this value. It is sine inverse of 2x square root of 1 minus x square, and it is given that the values of x, it is lying in this interval. So we start proving this with the assumption that we are assuming that sine inverse x, let sine inverse x is equal to theta, then this implies us that x is equal to sine of theta. Now we know that sine 2 theta, that is equal to 2 sine theta cos theta, that is equal to 2 sine theta into square root of 1 minus sine square theta. This is equal to 2x into square root of 1 minus x square. So we obtain that sine 2 theta is equal to 2x square root of 1 minus x square. Now we have to take the inverse function over here. So what conditions we have is, we are saying the value of this 2 theta, it should lie in the interval, this value of 2 theta, it should lie in the interval minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. This implies us that the value of theta, it lies in the interval pi by 4 minus pi by 4 is less than theta is less than equal to pi by 4. And this implies us, what is this theta coming from? It is sine inverse of x. So what we get is that the value of x that we can have, we are saying x is equal to sine of theta. So the values of x that we can have, it is from minus 1 by root 2 to 1 by root 2. So what we are saying, from this what we get is that 2 theta is equal to sine inverse of 2x square root of 1 minus x square. Now in place of this theta, we can write it as sine inverse of x. So we are writing it is 2 sine inverse x, that is equal to sine inverse of 2x into square root of 1 minus x square. Next we have to prove is that 2 cos inverse x is equal to cos inverse of 2x square minus 1. So we assume cos inverse x is equal to theta. So this implies us that x is equal to cos of theta. Now if we write the formula for cos 2 theta, that is equal to 2 cos square theta minus 1, we will get this is equal to 2x square minus 1. Now in this problem it is being given that minus 1 by root 2, 1 by root 2 is less than equal to x is less than equal to 1. So this implies us that 1 by root 2 is less than equal to cos theta is less than equal to 1. So this gives us pi by 4 is less than equal to theta is less than equal to pi by 2. And this implies us that pi by, if we multiply this whole equation with 2, we get it is pi by 2 is less than equal to 2 theta is less than equal to pi. So what we get is that this value of 2 theta we have over here, this lies in the principal, this is the principal value we are having. So what we can write is 2 theta is equal to cos inverse of 2x square minus 1. Now in place of theta we are writing it is cos inverse of x. So we get 2 cos inverse of x is equal to cos inverse of 2x square minus 1 when this condition is given to us. Now suppose in place of this condition any other condition is given, we have to verify whether we can take the inverse over that region or not. What is the importance of this condition is that we have to verify whether for these values of x, the value of this 2 theta, because we are writing cos inverse over here, so we require this 2 theta to satisfy the conditions of the principal values. So that is why these conditions are given over here. Next we have to prove is that 3 sine inverse x, that is equal to sine inverse of 3x minus 4x cube, where x belongs to the interval minus pi by 2 to pi 1 by 2 to 1 by 2. So we solve it by using the formula. We are writing sine inverse x is equal to theta. So this implies us that x is equal to sine theta. The answer we require, it is 3 times sine inverse x. So we are writing the formula of sine 3 theta, that is equal to 3 sine theta minus 4 sine cube theta. So if we substitute the values over here, we get it is 3 times, in place of sine theta we are writing it is x minus 4x cube. So we get the value of 3 theta is equal to sine inverse of 3x minus 4x cube. We are writing it is sine 3 theta is equal to this. Why? It is given that x belongs to the interval minus 1 by 2 to 1 by 2. So what this will imply? This will imply that theta belongs to the interval minus pi by 6 to pi by 6, and this implies us that 3 theta belongs to the interval minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. we are saying this 3 theta, it belongs to the interval minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. So we can write that 3 theta is equal to this. Now substituting the value of theta over here, we get it is 3 times sine inverse of x, that is equal to sine inverse of 3x minus 4x cube. Similarly, when we are talking about 3 cos inverse of x, we are starting with this cos inverse of x is equal to theta. This implies us x is equal to cos theta. We apply the formula for cos 3 theta, that is equal to 4 cos cube theta minus 3 cos theta, that is equal to 4x cube minus 3x. Now we are saying the value of x, they belong to the interval 1 by 2 to 1. So this implies us that the value of theta, it belongs to pi by 3 to it is not pi by 3 to, it belongs to the interval 0 to pi by 3, and this implies us that the value of 3 theta, it belongs to 0 to pi. So as 3 theta belongs to 0 to pi, so we can write 3 theta is equal to cos inverse of 4x cube minus 3 theta minus 3x. Now in place of theta, we can write this is 3 cos inverse of x, that is equal to cos inverse of 4x cube minus 3 times x, and this is what we have to prove. Next is sine inverse of x plus sine inverse of y, that is equal to sine inverse of x plus square root of 1 minus y square plus y plus square root of 1 minus x square, and we have these 3 results also. So we are proving the first result over here. Suppose we are saying that sine inverse of x is equal to theta 1 or theta, and sine inverse of y is equal to 5. Then we know that sine of theta plus phi, that is equal to sine theta cos phi plus cos theta sine phi. We can write this is equal to sine theta square root of 1 minus sine square phi plus cos theta into square root of 1 minus it is square root of 1 minus sine square theta into sine of phi, and this value comes out to be x into square root of 1 minus y square plus y into square root of 1 minus x square. Now the conditions we have over here, that the value of x that we have, it belongs to the interval minus 1 to 1, and theta belongs to the interval minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. Similarly, we have phi belongs to the interval minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. Now what we have obtained is that sine of theta plus phi, that is equal to x square root of 1 minus y square plus y square root of 1 minus x square. If we have theta plus phi, this belongs to minus pi by 2 to pi by 2, then we can write theta plus phi, that is equal to sine inverse of x square root of 1 minus y square plus y square root of 1 minus x square. And what is theta plus phi? It is sine inverse of x plus sine inverse of y. So we are having this formula over here, but the condition now we have is that this theta plus phi, that should belong to the interval minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. That is, we are talking about this formula is only valid when we are saying that sine inverse of x plus sine inverse of y, this value belongs to the interval minus 1 to 1. This should belong to the interval minus 1 to 1. Otherwise, we have to adjust the formula accordingly to bring the values of theta plus phi in the interval minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. Similarly, we can prove these three results by using the corresponding formulas for sine of theta minus phi, cos of theta plus phi and cos of theta minus phi. The other results can be proved similarly. Next we have to prove is that sine inverse of x, this first result we are talking about, that is equal to cos inverse of minus x square, square root of 1 minus x square, tan inverse of x over square root of 1 minus x square, cosecant inverse of 1 by x, secant inverse of 1 by square root of 1 minus x square, and that is equal to cot inverse of square root of 1 minus x square over x, and this thing holds for 0 is less than equal to x is less than 1. So to prove this result, suppose we are saying that sine inverse of x is equal to theta. I am talking about the first two terms over here, the second term, or you can say. So what we have is, we are talking about cos inverse of square root of 1 minus x square, that is equal to cos inverse of square root of 1 minus, this thing implies us x is equal to sine theta, so it is 1 minus sine theta, that is equal to cos inverse of cos of theta, and this is equal to theta if theta belongs to 0 to pi. Theta belongs to 0 to pi means the value of x that belongs to minus 1 to 1, and it is being given in this question that 0 is less than x is less than 1. So we are writing what we have obtained from this is that this value is equal to theta, and that is equal to cos inverse of x. When the x value of x, it lies between 0 and 1, we are saying this value is equal to cos inverse of theta, and theta is, it is not cos inverse of x, this is equal to sine inverse of x. Similarly, for the second case, we are talking about it is tan inverse of sine theta over square root of 1 minus sine square theta. The answer comes out to be tan inverse of sine theta over cos theta, that is equal to tan inverse of tan theta, and this value is equal to theta when theta belongs to the interval minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. So we have obtained this is equal to theta means this is equal to sine inverse of x. Next, when we are talking about it is the next term we are talking about it is cosecant inverse of 1 by x. We are saying this is equal to cosecant inverse of 1 by sine theta, that is equal to cosecant inverse of cosecant theta, or you can write this is equal to sine inverse of sine theta. In both these cases, this answer will be equal to theta if theta belongs to the interval. We are saying it is 1 by x over here, so automatically the value of x is not equal to 0, it is already being assumed, and this value is equal to theta because the values they are lying in the principal, these are the principal values. Similarly, for the other parts, when we are talking about square root of 1 minus x square, this denominator will become cos theta, you will get the answer as theta. In this case, numerator will become cos theta, denominator is sine theta, the answer will become cot theta. In the next part, it is cos inverse we are talking about. The next part we are talking about cos inverse of x, so we assume cos inverse of x is theta, and we can obtain the answer in all these cases by substituting the values over here. In the last part we have it is tan inverse of x we are saying, so if we substitute tan inverse x is equal to theta, this term will become sine theta, this will become cos theta, this will become cosecant theta, this will become secant theta, and this will become cot theta, and we can obtain the answer. So this first part is being solved over here, and rest of the parts you can try at your own, that how we are obtaining these answers.